Let's have a look at the grid for this race. Luca Leistra starts on pole position ahead of Linus Hensen. Luca Thiel rounds out the top three ahead of Zsombor Kovac, Maurice Schmeis and Finn Stiak. That is row number 3. Then row 4, it is Giuseppe Fico and Luca Köster. Darius Nieto and Zino Kovac complete the top 10. Milan Ritter in 11th, ahead of Lucas Thompson. And we've got Bennett Ahrens and Nick Coppens in row 7. Bastian Barlage and Maddox Wirtz, row 8. Jan Heinen and Lukas Vavajinak, row 9. Lasse Reinhardt and Max Busch round out the top 20. Completing the 27 strong, it's Adrian Dobric, Denny Berndt, Lukas Hartmann, Philip Keskik, Kian Agassade, Luisa Kehler and Andre Petropoulos. That is your 27 strong grid, and now they go onto the formation lap. So after this, we'll have 2 more races before we head onto the official lunch break, before DEKM gets into action with its first of 2 races, the pre-final taking place at 1:45 local time here in Germany. So a win for Luca Leistra and a win for Linus Hensen yesterday. Gives us a real mouth-watering prospect, and these two do actually race in the Euro Trophy as well. So it gives them both a real good idea of how the circuit's going to handle next week. But those are the 2 drivers on the front row. And coming into this round, Linus Hensen is the reigning defending champion and also the points leader. Into the tram lines we go. The revs start to increase. Are we ready? Let's go racing. And it's a good start from Leistra. Looks like Luca Thiel's going to go through and get past, as will Maurice Schmeis as they head into turn 2 for the first time. Well, not on this particular occasion, because it's all getting rather close. It's 4 abreast at the back end of the field. As now Zsombor Kovac has gotten his way past, as we've got 2 into the barriers coming out, and there's more dramas. Someone's gone grass tracking out of turn 4 and into the chicane. Oh my goodness, and that's the 316 Jan Heinen. So what is it? Too many cooks spoil a broth is the terminology I would probably be more inclined of saying right there. After that incident, that was a real shame, because there could have been quite a few drivers that would be at the sharper end of the field. But in the meantime, Luca Thiel is in second. He's between Luca Leistra, who leads, and Linus Hensen, who rounds out the top 3. Zsombor Kovac embroiled in a battle over 4th position with Denmark's Milan Ritter. So it looks like, oh well, Finn Stiak and Lasse Reinhardt look to be the 2 casualties that managed to get away. Well, I'm not too sure. I don't think they've even got past the first lap. But Leistra continues to lead the way at this particular juncture. Or is he? I think that's changed. Or has there been a change with regards to Luca Thiel? Because where is Luca Thiel? Luca Thiel looks to be down in 5th position, in what is effectively 5th position. So he's behind Zsombor Kovac. He's behind Milan Ritter. And the next driver behind him is Bennett Ahrens in the 327. So quite a few changes happening up and down the order. 12 minutes and 10 seconds still to go in this race. And Leistra keeping his head down, staying ahead of Linus Hensen. But Zsombor Kovac, the Hungarian, looks up the inside through into turn 4. And then all of a sudden, like a rat up a drain pipe, goes Milan Ritter up into P3. Past the German. And then we've got Luca Thiel not too far behind. So Leistra still continuing to lead after what is now going to be the completion of lap number 3. The Bouvin power driver from Belgium continues to lead proceedings, having led the field from pole position. 11 minutes and 20 seconds plus an additional lap still to go in this race. And it is getting rather close. Maurice Schmeis has just been passed by Zino Kovac for what is 11th on the road. Lukas Hartmann has got past Andrei Petropoulos for what is 22nd on the road. The top three has had a significant change. As well, it has changed again because Milan Ritter has just been passed by Linus Hensen. So it is all getting a little bit close at the sharper end of the field. But Luca Leistra continuing to lead the way. We've had two retirements already. Finn Stiak out, Lasse Reinhardt out, both out on that incident coming out of turn 3 and into the barriers on the right-hand side after the start phase. Leistra has been continuing to lead proceedings, but Zomborkovic is fast closing on the Belgian going into turn 2. Linus Hensen is trying to close in. Lucas Thompson in the 3:12 is the fastest driver out there. He's just put in a 51.7 as the 3:12 and is trying to close in on Luca Costa and is about 0.6 of a second behind as things start ramping up in this first of 2 races, both 14 minutes plus an additional lap in duration. Still plenty to go. Marek Zwierz past Lukas Wawrzyniak, Kian Agasari and Lukas Hartmann past Filip Keskik. But again, Leistra is leading the way, not looking back. As Linus Hensen now closing on Zomborkovic for second position. Hensen wants that place back and then wants to start charging. Lucas Thompson running in the 51.5s, fastest lap of anybody, 51.520. And Hensen goes for the move on Kovac through turn 4 and gets the job done. Nice and clean from the 333, the reigning and defending champion. Nick Cuppens has made his way up into 12th and he's got past Maurice Schmeis in the process. Darius Nitu past Bennett Ahrens. Luca Thiel past Milan Ritter. And that is for 4th on the road. But then Ritter has retaken the place and has gotten back into position. We've had just over 5 minutes of this 14-minute plus an additional lap race here in Mülsen. Carry on. And now Hensen in striking range. He can see that the target in his crosshairs, one Luca Leistra, is not too far in front. Going into turn 4, we saw a good move from Hensen on Kovac last time around. We won't see it here on the next tour. But these two were battling away against each other yesterday. Hensen took the victory in Heat 2. Leistra, Heat 1. Second for Leistra in Heat 2. Luca Thiel was the second and a third for the 399, who finished runner-up in this class last season. Bastian Balaj gets up into 7th. Lucas Thompson and Zino Kovac both get past Luca Costa. And those two drivers, the former two, complete the top 10. Linus Hensen is within 0.2 of a second of Leistra, but he needs to be a little bit closer, a smidgen closer. If he's within 1.5 tenths, then he's got a real good chance of getting past the Belgian for the lead of the race. The way things are going, Luca Leistra does not want to relinquish that victory. Doesn't really want to relinquish the chance of a victory or a chance of the lead. But he's kept on going, has Leistra. It's not been easy. But who said racing was easy, especially if you're the one that's being chased? It's one thing to chase somebody down, it's something completely different to pass them, as now Linus Hensen right up at the back bumper of the Buvin Power driver, heading down into turn 2. There's still just under half of this race left to go, plus an additional lap. And at the minute, as things stand, as is that Bennett Ahrens I've just seen? Bennett Ahrens has just pulled to the side, just off those barriers there, so he's walking away from his kart, I think. So that could be retirement number 3 out of 27. At the moment, the battle for third is really heating up. Zsombor Kovács, the Hungarian, being closed in by the young Dane, Milan Ritter. And that is for third place. Luca Thiel has dropped back, and it looks like, yep, that is going to be a pretty much confirmed retirement for Bennett Arendsen in 3:27 as he walks away from the car. That's a real shame for the RS competition driver. Maurice Schmeis has got past Denny Bernd up into 14th. Lucas Hartmann and Kian Agassade both make their way up into 16th and 17th respectively. Luisa Keller gets past Philip Keskik, as now the battle for the top four, which includes the lead of the race, is continuing. The top four were covered by just over 0.7 of a second last time around. And Lystra still leads. We're about to go into double digits as they are now crossing the lines to complete lap number 10 with 5 minutes and 17 on the clock plus an additional lap still to go. And the gap has truncated between the quartet from 0.7 to 0.5 of a second. As now Linus Henson looks for the lead through turn 4 on lap number 10 on Luca Lystra and gets past the 3:56. So nicely and neatly done by Linus Henson. And now Lystra's falling into the clutches of both Zsombor Kovács and Milan Ritter. As long as those two don't start squabbling between each other, they'll be absolutely fine and dandy. The way things are at the moment, Henson will do exactly what Lystra did and look to keep that position. So we've got 3 confirmed retirements. Finch Diak and Lasse Reinhardt on lap 1. Bennett Arends, unfortunately, on lap number 8 of this race as Lystra retakes the lead through turn 2 on Henson. And Kovács and Ritter now sense their opportunity is here, as up through the inside once again goes Henson, and then all of a sudden the floodgates well and truly open, because effectively as soon as that move happened, that Henson went for the move on Lystra, it allowed both Zsombor Kovács and Milan Ritter to get past, and there was nothing that Lystra could say or do about it. He was literally exposed right there and then after that move, because once someone goes for the move through that left-hander, the other person is effectively opening the door for the rest of the opposition. But now Henson leads, going on to lap number 13 of this race. We've still got 3.5 minutes plus an additional lap still to go. And Henson now starting to pull away. Just over 0.2 of a second was his advantage, or just under 0.2 of a second was his advantage on Zsombor Kovács. And now Kovács coming under the kibosh, courtesy of Milan Ritter and Luca Lystra. Kian Agassade gets past Denny Bernd for 16th. Lukas Hartmann past Maurice Schmeis for 14th. Luca Köster has got past Zino Kovács as the 3:66 takes 8th position. Time is fast ticking away. 2 minutes and 45 on the clock remaining. And at the minute, Linus Henson continues to race away, but he's not going to race away into the distance, because there goes Zsombor Kovács for the lead of the race through turn 2. This could open the door for Milan Ritter if he's not very much careful. But Kovács gets through, and now it's about fighting back. And Lystra knows that he has been at the front of the field, and what's happened here is that he's managed to get past the 3:22 of Milan Ritter. Luca Thiel gets past, and there was a bit of an acknowledgement sign there from Milan Ritter. I think really he might want to, well, I'm not too sure whether he's doing that in due deference to the people out on the circuit. However, the thing is that Ritter was in the battle for the lead, and now it's going to become a different scrap, because Luca Thiel has now made his way up past Milan Ritter, who's dropped to 5th position. So this makes things rather interesting, doesn't it? Well, Milan Ritter has retaken 4th position from Luca Thiel. It's now Linus Henson closing on Zsombor Kovács. Luca Lystra looking to close in too. That is your top 3. 1.5 minutes to go, plus an additional lap. Kovács takes a long look over the right shoulder to see where Linus Henson is, and Linus Henson is there. and in full, plain, unadulterated sight. And again, another look over the right shoulder by Zsombor Kovács. Luka Lystra now coming back into the fray. And he sends it up the inside. Oh, that's a brave move from the Belgian. He gets past Linus Henson. Then all of a sudden, Henson now has to fight with Milan Ritter for third place as Zsombor Kovács leads from Luka Lystra. Henson down to third and now has Luca Thiel for close company, who's got past Milan Ritter in the process. Jan Heinen looks to have parked it, unfortunately, as there goes Ritter up the inside of Luca Thiel to retake fourth place. And with them, they've got Darius Nitu in that mix as well. No other drivers. The other driver that's a little bit further behind will be the 312 of Lucas Thompson. And that now means there's going to be quite a few drivers wanting to get further up the order, but time is fast running out. 13 on the clock remains. They come out of the final corner. Will the last lap board go out this time around? No, it doesn't, because they crossed the line with 6 seconds to go on the clock. That is it. Time is up here in this race for Senior Rotax, race 1 out of 2. And now Lystra has got the lead from Kovács. And now Kovács responds, goes back up the inside through turn 4. Lystra's doing everything, but then all of a sudden Linus Henson gets through. He just saw a gap there and went for it. I mean, I'm just going to have a quick look back, because obviously Linus Henson has got a title to defend. Zsombor Kovács and Luka Lystra, they're using this as a bit of a testing session, but there was a bit of a moment there, and it looked like Kovács just saw to his right what was going on. All of a sudden, he lifted off the throttle. I'm not too sure what happened there, but we're going to go on to the final lap. Linus Henson gets the last lap ball, the sign he needs. And now, Kovács is ahead of Ritter. Lystra down in 4th, Nitu up into 5th. Luca Thiel in 6th place. Just one more lap to go. This is where things have been really interesting, because now the driver that is at the head of the points table coming into this round, he would have gained 16 points for finishing third in the intermediate classification, or the ranking after the heats yesterday. He still has a comfortable lead, but the perfect score has unfortunately been whitewashed, so to speak, by Luka Lystra. But Linus Henson now makes his way up towards the final double right-hander here at Mülsen, and he will go into this afternoon's race at the top of the tree, top of the pops, king of the hill, coming out of the final corner. Oh, and it's a turner, and Ritter's into the barriers hard. Oh, and he had the wind knocked out of his sails there, and he's just trying to get out of the cart. Drama there. Milan Ritter does not make the finish line. Now that was, I'm just going to have a look, and there was, oh, he was trying. Now, Henson wins that race. Zsombor Kovács takes second ahead of Luka Lystra. And yeah, Ritter was trying to go towards the outside of Lystra going into the final corner. The back end stepped out to the left-hand side, and all of a sudden the Dane was a passenger. He spun round. Darius Nitu takes 4th ahead of Luca Thiel, Lucas Thompson, Luca Köster, Zino Kovács, Lucas Hartmann, and Max Buschran at the top 10. Nick Cuppins in 11th ahead of Maurice Schmeiers, Giuseppe Fico, Adrian Dobric, Kian Agassade, Marek Sviatz, Bastian Balaj, Andrei Petropoulos, Lucas Vavajinak, Luisa Keller, Denny Berndt, Philip Keskik, Milan Ritter, getting yards away from the checkered flag, but unfortunately not finishing the race ahead of Jan Heinen, Bennett Arrens, Finn Stiak, and Lasse Reinhardt.